Hello, welcome guys to this video. My name is Kata and I'm sharing some thoughts today about my own ascension process, and I just want to help others to recognize that this may not be as easy as we think it is. It certainly hasn't been an easy process for myself, and the reason why ascension is not easy is because the process of completely changing yourself means to shed a part of yourself that is essentially outdated, right? If we think about a snake shedding its skin, it's like the same kind of process that you go through when you're spiritually ascending. And so what I was recognizing yesterday as I was just kind of pondering my own spiritual evolution and how I've been kind of getting through it, what I was really pondering is that, this process is truly not for the faint of heart, and it really is for people that really genuinely want to change their life. And if you are someone who is ready to change your life, if you're ready to go in a brand new direction, if you're ready to become a brand new version of yourself, a version of yourself that you didn't even maybe think existed within you, then you're definitely a really good candidate for spiritual evolution. Now, spiritual evolution is happening for all of us, yes, collectively, but I find that the difference is if you're conscious about it happening and you're putting in the right effort and you're taking the right steps basically to help propel you along that path, it's going to happen so much faster. It's going to happen like exponentially bigger. Like I feel like the space of expansion becomes much larger, like much more open to really for you to create whatever you want in your life. But see, that comes from that conscious connection. It comes from, like, for example, me knowing what I need to do in every single day when I wake up, and how I need to change my routine and my lifestyle in order to get to where I want to go. And where do I want to go? I want to become the healthiest, fittest, sexiest version of myself if I'm talking physicality. And I want to become the most mentally strong and stable and coherent individual as I can be. And I want to become the most spiritual, the most, I want to say angelic, the most lighthearted version of myself that I can be. And I want to be someone who is always spreading positivity and someone who is always uplifting others, someone who has not bypassed but has overcome, the difficulties of ascension, someone who has already come out the other side and has become this truly incredible version of themselves. That is who I aspire to be, and that is who I know is within me. I just have detached from her. And I think I detached from her so long ago that, I completely forgot that I am all those things. I already embody all of those things. I just haven't really allowed myself to fully show the world that part of myself, because there was still so much I had to work on. There was still so many issues around worthiness. There were still so many issues around feeling like I deserve, things, and allowing myself to feel like I deserve things, and not thinking that it's my ego or that I'm selfish or that I want too much, because I want good things in my life and I want endless abundance and endless prosperity. These are not selfish things. These are things that we're all actually entitled to from the time that you were born here on this planet. Whether you get it or not is going to depend on you. It depends on me. Like the money mentality that I've had, for example, I've recognized how incredibly toxic it has been, and how much I actually feared money and had this perception that money was evil, and it was not something that I could really have in my life, because maybe if I had it, I couldn't manage it and all this stuff. And it's such bullshit when I think about how I can manage like a little bit of money and make the dollar stretch. Then why the fuck would I not be able to manage larger sums of money where I don't have debt and I don't have to keep allocating to different things? I literally just manage the money and invest it and do whatever I want with it. Like, why couldn't I do that? I can do that. But the recognition has to be within oneself first. And all of these videos that I watch and I listen to about self-help and about getting yourself to the next level, they all kind of essentially say the same thing, like change your mind, change your lifestyle, use the positive affirmations, and you will yield results. And that's what I am now having to man, let me just say, like, it takes a lot of fucking discipline to get yourself to a place where you're really able to just do what you got to do. And you get up in the morning and you get up at 5 or you get up at 6 and like you discipline your ass and just do it. That's exactly the kind of stuff I was actually watching this morning. Like, I know Spirit is constantly talking to me, constantly giving me signs, giving me messages, giving me different like videos and stuff like, hey, Kata, look at this, or hey, you know, watch this. It's like 5 minutes, but you need to see it. And it's always perfect. It's always exactly what I need to hear in that moment. There's like, I will literally attract to myself because I'm so committed now to my ascension process and to my ascension journey. And because I'm so willing to put in the work and I'm so willing to go through the trenches and go through the difficult parts of completely revamping myself. It's not fucking easy to overcome yourself and to say, okay, you know, well, I've been just, you know, I don't know, living life a certain way and I've just been eating whatever the fuck I want and doing this and that, and like that's cool and that's okay and I don't need to change anything. It's no, man, like when you really want change, you gotta put the effort in, and it's hard. Like you gotta force yourself to get up in the morning. And I'm realizing, because at first I had like this super structured little calendar put together and I've been trying to follow it, but then I realized I'm like, I can't follow this because it's not really realistic for me. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I want to do is meditate, but I can't really meditate as soon as I wake up because I will fall back asleep and then it's fucked, the whole thing. I'll just sleep in. So now I'm realizing I have to get up and actually get active first, even though I know Dr. Joe Dispenza also says, you know, get up and meditate, but I can't. Like if I wake up and I sit and I start meditating, like, ugh, that's it, right? And I'm going to be out. So I have to recognize what works for me. And I don't know about your mind, but my mind is like super monkey mind. So constantly is trying to tell me like, well, what about this, Kata? You didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's like I have a Karen in my head. It's fucked. And then I have to silence Karen in my head by just reorganizing my thoughts. And I go, you know what? I'm going to do it this way because this works. This is something I can stick to. This is something that's attainable for me. And this is something I actually enjoy doing. Because that's the other piece, is that with my ascension, and it's so like hard and easy at the same time because I'm going through this shedding of the snake skin, as I said to you before. And my shedding means that I'm actually shedding a career, something that I've been doing for almost 20 years. And to completely get out of a job that you have been so used to doing, and it's just so ingrained and it's so natural for you to do, you know, yet so unfulfilling at the same time, is hard. Even though it's unfulfilling and even though I know I don't want to do it, I still can't seem to, or I couldn't, I am now, but I couldn't for the longest time let it go. I felt like there was fear there. And that was something that I recognized this morning. And this morning when I woke up, I actually had a little test from Spirit, because I had a client message me who wanted to book a service for massage therapy. So it's massage therapy that I've been doing for almost 20 years and now transitioning out of. And this client wanted to book in for massage. And I was just like, initial reaction, and I'm going to say knee-jerk reaction, mental knee-jerk reaction, was, yeah, sure, you know, let's book him in. And then after, I'm like, nah, we're just going to give myself, you know, a little bit of time. And I processed and I thought about it. And then, you know, a couple hours later, I texted the person back and I just let them know that I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, like I'm done. And I really, this like I'm done process with this career, I've been going through this process now for all of this year. I was already contemplating last year of not renewing my license. So this year, definitely won't be renewing my license. I know that for a fact now. But that process to get there, for me to say, I'm not going to do something that I have known to be my everything, to be my source of bread and butter, right? And I'm now going to shed that part of myself because I've outgrown it. I'm ready to move past it. And I'm going to simply just give up, you know? I'm giving up the $20,000 education. I'm giving up like my entire thing with saying no to this career at this point in my life. And it's not easy to do that. It definitely is a stretch outside of my comfort zone. However, my comfort zone was like just so uncomfortable in the last little bit. Like I really couldn't do it anymore. And now I recognize that it's very bad for us actually energetically to go against ourselves. So if you are, pushing yourself to keep doing a job that you don't fucking like, that doesn't bring you joy, it doesn't make you happy. Maybe the pay is good, maybe the benefits are good. But if you're fucking miserable every single day doing that thing, then why are you doing it? Like we don't realize how much that impacts us in a negative way. And that's what I am now basically stopping. I'm just not doing that anymore, because I've come to realize that every time I force myself to, take an appointment and book somebody in and massage them, I would just be so drained after. I was like so exhausted after. And it could be like one massage, and then I would think back like, man, how the fuck did I even ever do like 6 and 7 massages in a row? We're talking hour massages, like back to back, like with a 10-15 turnover rate. And like, it was insane when I think about what I used to do and how I would force myself to do that. And for a while it was fine, obviously, but towards the end of my career, like I have really been feeling this pull, like just away from it, and really noticing how the job is draining me, how I don't enjoy doing it, how those specific clients that were like super attached to having, my massages specifically, like those clients were actually very, energetically like bad for me. Like a lot of them were very low vibe and just they didn't know how to fill their own cup. And so when they would come to me for a session, it's like they wanted me to pour like the whole fucking world into them so that they can feel better. And and that's actually a part of the reason why I don't want to do massage therapy anymore. It's because I simply cannot. I'm ready to help people that are ready to help themselves, because this is what I'm doing now and this is where I'm transitioning to. And people that let themselves basically fall apart completely, and then they go see a massage therapist or physio or chiro and say, oh, like, can you fix me? I can't fucking stand that. Like, it drives me crazy, because we know, right? Like we all know that the food that we eat is not necessarily good for us. If you're overweight, you definitely know you're eating shit you're not supposed to be eating, because then you wouldn't be overweight if you were eating the right foods, right? Like we always know what things we should be doing in order to live a much more balanced life. But it's the strength and the willpower and the courage and the determination that is what's lacking in most people. That is what has been lacking within myself. And I realized, I'm like, man, I've been a lazy fucker. Like I really have not done many of the things that I could have been already doing. And I didn't do a lot of them because I was like, it's uncomfortable. And I didn't want to be uncomfortable. Well, how realistic is that? Like, shit, isn't all change uncomfortable? Of course it is. And the more I'm willing to force myself into that discomfort, and the more I'm able to push myself to stay in the discomfort and be okay with it, the more I'm noticing that my life is just moving up. It's moving up and up the ladder, and things are evolving and shifting and changing, and I'm getting more and more excited every single day. I did my first weights workout this morning. Woohoo! I was like, oh, my arms are gonna be on fire. But I'm so excited because I finally fucking did it. And I sat there and I pushed myself through and I did the full arm stuff. And I was just so proud of myself for finally doing it, because I know I've been wanting to get rid of the excess flabbies, but I have just not wanted to get uncomfortable doing it. Yeah, not realistic. So anyway, really what I want to say here is get comfortable with being uncomfortable as you transition, as you move yourself out of this completely stuck, stagnant, lazy, unwilling to, get uncomfortable kind of attitude. You have to shove yourself out of there, because no one is going to shove you out for you. No one's going to do it for you. And what I'm recognizing the most is that actually the more I do hard things, it's almost like I'm rewiring my brain right now to actually enjoy doing hard things. And I'm finding that I'm wanting to do the hard things like first. So I do like the difficult stuff first in the morning. And when you get all that hard shit out of the way, just like somebody else I was watching, he was saying like swallow the frog first. You know, when you do that hardest, most difficult activity first thing in the day, man, like what a load off, and the feeling and the euphoria that I get just from like, I went for my walk this morning, I did my little power walk and came back afterwards and I did my weights workout, and I was just like, man, this is so good. I actually feel really, really good. And yeah, I'm sweating, and yeah, that was hard, but like the feeling is just so worth it. So I want to really, really encourage you. I don't care if you're 500 pounds right now, like it doesn't matter. Wherever you're at is where you begin. And that's as simple as that, because I wanted to push myself to be like next level, like, yeah, I'm ready to run a marathon. No, I'm not. And that's okay. I don't need to be. Like, just recognizing this is where I'm at. I'm super out of shape right now. Like I was dying and I was using 8 pounds, guys, like bicep curls. Like, yeah, it's just when you're out of shape, you're out of shape. And that's okay, because it comes back really quickly and the strength builds really quickly when you're willing to put the work in, and the discomfort, if you're willing to feel it. So I'm just going to encourage you, because I'm doing it myself. It's working. My arms are killing me right now, and it's awesome. And I'm going to do it again tomorrow in the morning. And the other thing I'm trying to work towards right now is just waking up really, really early, like a lot earlier than I have been, to really get that self-care window. Like, because I feel like a good 2-hour self-care routine in the morning is a very healthy self-care routine that gives you time to do a little bit of cardio, a little bit of weights, some meditation, some prayer, shower, get cleaned up, get ready for the day kind of thing. So 2 hours is sufficient. That's what I've calculated for myself. It's what I'm kind of sticking to. Yeah, and in those 2 hours, it's like you get her done, man, and get all the sort of heavy lifting out of the way first thing in the morning, and then you begin your day, and then you proceed forward. My 2 hours is going to also be including my my affirmations list. That is something I will be incorporating in the morning routine, because it's necessary. I find that reprogramming my brain and overcoming my own head and my internal thoughts is actually the biggest key to accomplishing anything I want. Whether it's getting physically more fit, whether it's getting like mentally, emotionally more happy, whether it's becoming more spiritual, all of that has to do with how I think and how I perceive in my daily life, right? And how I perceive myself and my daily life and my current routines or lack of routines, right? So just look at kind of everything and look at your lifestyle and ask yourself the question, am I ready? Am I ready? And am I willing to commit to myself, to give myself the love, the attention, the time, the praise, the everything that fills my cup? Am I willing to give that to myself now? Am I willing to go through the pain and go through the difficulty and the challenge of rebirthing myself? Am I willing to feel it and sit in it and be with myself and support myself through it? Because that is the only way that you're going to get through. This is not anybody else's job, not even to support us, I feel like, other than ourselves. If we don't learn individually as human beings to support ourselves in such fucking magnificent ways that we truly are overflowing constantly, then you really cannot expect somebody else to do that for you. That is the lesson. That is the life lesson. And every single person on this planet that chooses to change their life in any way whatsoever always has to go through this process. And they'll all tell you it was not easy. But damn, was it worth it? So that's my process. That's what I've been going through. And I want to share this because I really want to motivate others and inspire you guys to do the same, man. And don't be afraid of the work. Yes, it's going to suck. And yes, you're going to fucking push through it because you're strong. We all are strong. We just need to push ourselves. And maybe this video is going to push you a little bit today. So that's my message. And I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do hit a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm just going to keep pumping out motivational stuff and just my journey and how I'm getting on and what I'm doing and what I'm trying, what's working, what's not working. That's what I'm going to continue sharing with you guys. So if this resonates for you, if you're actually trying to get yourself to a higher level of life, if you're trying to really improve yourself for yourself, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Take care. Love you guys. Peace.